This your boy Sugar Shot Evans.
My name is Fabrice Verdun.
This is Calvin Gaston.
I'm Leoto Machida.
You're watching the Hollywood MMA Show.
Hollywood MMA Show.
Watching the Hollywood MMA Show.
Welcome to the Hollywood MMA Show here at Lucky Strike following University of MMA. I'm David Kano.
And I'm Jason Stizo Flores, and this is your MMA Show News.
And as you can see, I'm looking kind of fly right now.
I gotta do the kickback roll, you know what I mean? Like, you can only have one dude that's super dressed up and then one dude that's kind of doing the kickback roll. That way you have a full fan base of all the fans, you know what I'm saying?
In segment 2, we'll be joined with A.J. Lavarias, the winner of tonight's finale, in a battle that went back and forth. We'll get his thoughts on how the night went on University of MMA and other promotions. But first topic, UFC 164, Benson Henderson versus Anthony Pettis.
Benson, okay, this one right here I'm kind of on the fence. And the only reason why is because the first fight was so close. You know, it's like, it's tough for me because Benson has developed into a whole nother fighter than that last fight they had a couple years ago. Anthony Pettis, I mean, he's a whole nother beast. His striking is a lot better. I believe that if Benson takes him to the ground, that I think that's where his advantage is going to be. But if he chooses to stand with Pettis, that's when he's going to have a problem. I think if he does any standing at all, like, then he might do that flying kick off the fence again and nail him. I mean,
So who are you going with?
That's tough, man. I like Benson a lot, man, because he's a Comic-Con fan and a nerd like me. But you know what? On this one, you know, Pettis took it from him once in the WEC, and I think that has something to do in the back of his mind. And stuff like that doesn't go away. And even Benson said that he wants to rid himself of the Pettis lost shadow. And I think that bothers him. So on this one, I think I'm going to have to go Pettis. Even though I'm a big Benson Henderson fan, I might have to roll with Pettis on this one.
Well, there you go again. I mean, here Jason Stizo goes with his technical, this is what happened then and now.
Hey.
I go by eyeballing the fight. This is how I go. Benson Henderson is coming off a 5-round decision to Gilbert Melendez. And so
A close 5-round decision.
which it could have went either way, but I'm gonna say that I did think he won, even though we talked to Gilbert.
Right.
And Gilbert did say that he thought he won rounds 1, 2, 4, and 5. But Gilbert has the fight with Diego Sanchez coming up.
Right.
So getting ready for that rematch. But Anthony Pettis is a different fighter. He fights, he uses his angles. Benson comes right at you. He can go technical or he can counterpunch. I mean, we saw with the Gilbert fight, Gilbert wasn't able to use his wrestling, take him to the ground. So I think Anthony Pettis poses problems that Benson hasn't seen. I actually wanted to see Pettis take on Jose Aldo, because I think that was I still think that's an interesting fight.
That's a great fight.
Because I think Pettis can dethrone Aldo, but at the same time, I think he can beat Benson. Now, is it going to be tough? If it goes to a decision, it's going to be tough, because to beat the champion, you really have to beat the champion. I think that Pettis will have to finish the fight, or it's going to have to be a clear-cut decision.
Oh yeah, no. If it goes to decision, you know, they're going to give it to the champ. But I'm with you. I think there's only 2 people that I think that can actually dethrone Aldo, and I agree with you. Pettis, I think, can dethrone Aldo, but also Conor McGregor, which tore his ACL.
Oh my gosh. We'll talk about Conor and the luck of the Irish later, but I'm going to go with Anthony Pettis off the fact that watching him fight, he fights with these different angles, and which poses problems because he doesn't come in with a game plan. He comes in to just win. Now, he is coming off an injury. I don't know if that's going to hamper him, but we'll see.
I don't know, but he's a whole different fighter now from WEC. He's a, you know, it's kind of like you have 2 guys that were kind of equal, and it's kind of like in the Condon fight that's going down on Wednesday, but you got 2 fighters that over the years, you know, you just get better and better as time goes, and I feel that Pettis in certain areas has excelled. Even though Benson is the champion and he won the title, I still think that.
So you're going Pettis?
I'm going Pettis.
Okay, so you're not going to waffle this time?
No, I'm going Pettis.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm a big Benson fan, and Comic-Con, let's go, but I'm
For co-main event, Frank Mir versus Josh Barnett. We have Frank Mir coming off a decision loss to Daniel Cormier, which I thought he was going to get either TKO'd or submitted.
I was kind of disappointed on that, man. I thought Frank could have put up a better fight. think DC controlled it with his wrestling. He held him against the cage, and that's how he ultimately won. But Frank just kind of looked slow to me for some reason. He looked like he was.
But he's taking on Josh Barnett, who he's making his Octagon new debut, having been in the UFC and fought in other organizations for a few years now. And Josh Barnett, the common opponent, Daniel Cormier.
Right.
Daniel Cormier put it on Josh Barnett, took him down. I mean, he beat Josh at his own game, wrestling, threw him around. So now you have Frank Mir, black belt, high-level jiu-jitsu, one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners, if not the best at heavyweight,
right,
going against a great wrestler in Josh Barnett.
You know, and it comes down to that thing that we talk about all the time, elite wrestling versus elite jiu-jitsu. But in this case, seeing the fights between DC and Josh Barnett, but then also seeing the fights between DC and Frank Mir, I think I'm gonna roll with Frank Mir on this one. I just think the fight with him and with Frank Mir and DC was closer than the fight with Barnett and DC.
Well, I think Josh Barnett, I mean, he's fought in the biggest organizations, UFC early on, Pride. His wrestling is something that was only stopped by Daniel Cormier, because Daniel Cormier is an Olympic wrestler, like Olympic level. So I definitely think Barnett is going to take this. There's no way that Frank Mir is going to be able to submit Josh Barnett. And on the feet, Josh Barnett has better hands.
He does have better hands, but
Frank Mir is not known to be a striker.
Not at all.
I mean, in the Nogueira fight, he did some dirty boxing. I mean, he won that fight just because Nogueira traded with him, but that was an older Nogueira.
Yeah, I agree with you in that sense, but I'm still gonna, I don't know. You know, it's one of those gut feelings. I think I'm just gonna roll with Frank Mir.
I'm going Josh Barnett 100%. Chad Mendes versus Clay Guida.
Now this one I like.
A fight where Chad Mendes is coming off his only losses to Jose Aldo, and then he's won three straight. Going against Clay Guida. I mean, this guy can go round after round after round. And I believe that the winner of this fight will take on Aldo.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting about this is Guida lost to Pettis. No, he beat Pettis, but he lost to Anderson. And Chad Mendes beat a couple of people that I favored. I mean, he beat Javier Vasquez in WBC. He beat, who else did he beat in WBC? There was another, Chad Mendes.
He beat every person except Jose Aldo.
But on that one, I think I'm going to go with Chad Mendes. I like Chad Mendes riding that 3-fight win streak.
So you're going with an easy pick then? You're going with a favorite?
Not with the easy pick. I think Chad Mendes is the better guy out of it. I just think he's the better fighter.
You're not going to go with someone that's energetic and more spunkier and happy?
No, not in this one. If it was like Uriah Faber or something, you know what I mean? You got that energy, spunky, you know, it'd be different. But with this fight, I'm going to go with Chad Mendes.
I see Chad Mendes winning this fight. I mean, Clay Guida is not one to get submitted or knocked out, but I really believe Mendes will finish this fight. I don't think it goes past. No, he's going to finish the fight.
Okay.
I say it finishes around the second round.
Submission? Knockout.
Either way. Also on the card, Ben Rothwell versus Brandon Vera. Both men are riding some losing streaks. Rothwell lost to Gabriel Gonzaga, and Vera lost to Shogun. So I think this is a big matchup to see who's going to be cut next in the UFC.
Who's going to lose their job? In this one, I'm going to go with Vera, though. Down there in San Diego, going with Alliance. I'm going to go with Vera on this one. What you got?
I'm going to go with Ben Rothwell. I think I like Brandon Vera. I just think mentally he's not there like he was when he was younger. He's a different fighter now. He's not the same. Ben Rothwell, I think has been proven to. He doesn't always show up, but he's a grinder.
Right.
And I think he'll grind a decision.
So we got what are we at? We're the same on Pettis. We're split on Barnett. So we got Chad Mendes. Are we on Vera?
And I'm going to take Ben Rothwell. Also on the card, though, we have Eric Koch versus Dustin Poirier. And in this fight, Koch is coming off a loss to Lamas.
Yeah.
And we had, I'm not going to mention a professional Bellator fighter at 145. He coached on the Ultimate Fighter. He said that, I'm not going to mention names, but that Cock could beat Jose Aldo, and to me that's absurd.
I disagree. I mean, you know, and I know exactly who you're talking about, and that's my boy. And, you know,
Who are you talking about?
Oh, you know who I'm talking about.
Who are you talking about?
I'm not gonna, you know, if you want to go into that, because he got mad last time you put him
Who
on
are you talking
blast.
about?
He got mad last time you put him on blast on Twitter.
So are you gonna? I think Cock does rebound.
I disagree.
You think Poirier is gonna pull this one out?
I'll take Poirier on this one. I'm gonna take Poirier on this one.
I just think mentally, if Cock is there, he'll rebound from this, and I think he'll finish Poirier.
Finish?
I think he'll finish him. I got Cock finish this first or second round.
Wow. Man, you really right.
So, but you're going Poirier.
Yeah.
So
actually,
we
when we get out of here, I'm gonna text the dude that actually said this. And see what he said.
we're going to 3 fights. We're splitting on that. But guess what? Next up, we're having A.J. Lavarias, University of MMA. He won the championship and retained the title tonight. All that and more. I'm David Kano.
And I'm Jason Stizo Flores, and this is your
Is your best friend? I heard you and Joe Rogan have made up, and now you guys are good friends.
Made up nothing with Joe Hogan.
Who would you want to see you against? What was your super fight? Who's your dream? Which is a Kane, Mark Hunt?
Listen to me. First of all, I don't dream about that guys. That guys dream about me when they got you bad.
So that was it for here.
Let me tell you something, brother. This is Amateur Laranja, and you're watching the Hollywood MMA Show. Porra caralho!
Welcome back to the Hollywood MMA Show. I'm David Kano.
And I'm Jason Stizo Flores, and this is your MMA Show News.
And if you're on Twitter, you can follow the show at MMA Show News. And you can follow me at the DKANO.
And I at MRSTIZO.
I'm at 11,000 followers. I'm trying to catch your 25.
I know, it's like a marathon.
But I know why. It has to do with Conor
Get out
McGregor.
of here, dude.
But right now, we're joined with the one and only A.J. Lavarias. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you.
So A.J., you won your last fight to set you up for a title fight tonight. Was there added pressure that you had to take out 2 of Bas Rutten's guys?
Yeah, I knew that they were going to throw someone in that, was going to be tough because I know that they want the belt. I know they have a couple other belts, so I knew it was going to be a tough fight for me.
So how spread out with your fight camp? Did you start training right after the last fight a few months back, or did you take some time off?
There's a few months in between, and I wanted to also enjoy, for the 6 weeks for a training camp, it was diet, exercise, training, it's a lot of mental work. So, I wanted to have a little bit of break in between, and I think it was after the 4th of July, after that weekend, when I really set my, my goals and everything. And that was about, 5-6 weeks out. So.
Well, during the fight, there was something that I guess one of your trainers might have said, something about break or something about the arm. And I know Boss was a little upset about it, but I think it was cleared up at the end, right? Can you explain a little bit of that?
It was during a different match. It was again another one of my teammates against one of Boss's guys, and it was just a misunderstanding. I think it was just kind of like hearsay, just earshot of. And I think it was just a misunderstanding, but my coach was something that my coach said, and it was misinterpreted. And my coach, was a bigger man and went to Boston. I think they explained, so I think they worked it out after my fight.
Well, let's get back to the fight because it was an action-packed fight. In the second round, I actually thought you were done because you took I think it was a right hook that knocked you to the ground, and your head went back and it came up. And instead of Julian, I believe that Julian coming in, he decided to grab you. And were you hurt?
I saw a flash of light, which knocked me down, and I think my legs buckled. But I recovered quickly, so quick that instinctively I went down expecting him to follow up with some punches, but I grabbed his leg and I drove him to the fence from there. So for a second my legs buckled, but I recovered quickly.
So even when you were down and you had his legs, were you still trying to recover there, or were you good by then?
I think grabbing his legs was helping me recover. And I think that's the instinctive wrestler in me, just grabbing and driving him back and holding him so that I could recover.
So did you wrestle in high school or college?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't, but in my fights, if you guys see, a wrestler comes out of me. I mean, you see my body type, and most people think that I did wrestle. I was actually a hockey player, so I played ice hockey, so I have that drive behind me, but I don't have that wrestling background. But
You also got a high tolerance for pain too, huh?
Now you're 3-0. How many more fights do you want? U of MMA. Do you want before you go pro, or do you want to? Is this a filling out process still for you?
You know, it's a big test. I've been put up against tough guys each time, and I love the U of MMA. They're professional. I get to fight at Club Nokia, which is amazing. You know, I have to defend the title, but we'll see where that goes.
You know, is there added pressure because you had a lot of fans out there, and when you did get knocked down, there was like silence. Is there added pressure to you to recover and to win?
It's always in the back of my mind, but I want to do what's best for me. I can't let that dictate. I'm not fighting for the people. I'm fighting for me, and it's just the added benefit that those people are there cheering me on. So,
Now that you're fighting for you, I mean, what drives you? Like, what made you get into fighting in the first place?
I started out in Panganiban. Panganiban is Israeli self-defense, which is basically a mixed martial arts. That exposed me to combat sports. Even though I played ice hockey, and that kind of started, you know, my fighting career. But it was that in 2007 that got me into kickboxing, the jiu-jitsu, and the whole fighting. And you know, from there was a point where I was like, I'm not getting any younger, and I wanted to test my skills, and this is where I am.
Well, how old are you now?
32.
Really?
Well, I'm gonna be 13 this month.
Oh man, you don't look it at all.
Well, nowadays in MMA, you have like Anderson Silva's like 39. You have guys going a lot longer Randy Couture by taking care of your body. But you're not one of those people. When you get under those bright lights, there's a lot of fighters that buckle under pressure. Do you feel the lights when you're even underneath there when they close the door?
No, and I think I have to thank it's for teaching. I'm in front of students like multiple times a day, teaching classes, and I think being in front of people is natural to me. I mean, some of my parents and grandparents were all teachers, so I think it's all in the family too. So I think instinctively I'm used to being in front of people.
Are you teaching Kamaga too as well, or just MMA?
I teach Kamaga. I'm a brown belt in Kamaga. I teach Kamaga. I teach a little bit of jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and CrossFit and fitness and whatever.
Well, here's a question. We actually interviewed Boss Reed last week, right? Or a couple days ago, and the question was JKD or Kamaga. If you had a kid and you had to pick one of those to send your kid to school, which one would you pick?
I would pick Kamaga. It's real. I mean, it's the #1 martial art of now over 250 law enforcement departments and military around the world. So it's a real deal. If someone attacks you with a knife, a stick, a gun, a rifle, it's real life defense, and it gets to the point. There's no fancy, you know, martial arts, you know, those kinds of things. So I would say, you know, Kamaga, just from like it's proven. I mean, obviously biased because I do it, but it's the real deal.
So do you agree with Joe Rogan that one shot is useless?
Yeah.
So during the course of the fight, would you rather take someone down? Would you rather? I mean, I've seen you've stood with people. You're on the ground. Where do you feel more comfortable?
You know, it was kickboxing that really was my bread and butter, and I just really got into jiu-jitsu. I'd really like to stand up and strike, but because of my weight class, a lot of the guys are taller than me, so it's harder for me to, you know, stand up and bang, you know, with these guys. So I want to go to the ground, you know, and I feel comfortable there. And I'm heavy and I'm strong, but you know, I'd like to get some people that are my height. Maybe I can drop down to 145. We'll see, but you know, it's the ground that I feel most comfortable.
Well, what dropping down? Do you think that you can make that drop down to 145?
This is my third time making 155, and it's just getting easier and easier. Getting down to 155, so you know, it's definitely a possibility. I see it there.
You won't be concerned with like losing some of your power, dropping down low?
I think I'll still be stronger than 145.
Now, if there wasn't a University of MMA, if there's not amateur promotions, smaller promotions, where do you think fighting MMA would be right now? With fighters not getting fights unless they make it to the big show?
I think that there would probably be a big gap in between the high-level guys and the people that want to fight. There'd probably be a lot of guys who will just want to train and not end up fighting. And I mean, that would be really sad because there's a lot of people that just want to test their skills. You know, they train for a long time and they see their training partners or people that they train every day with end up fighting. And I think a lot of people would be scared to just jump right into that high level. So it really the amateur opens up the doors for a lot of people.
So you believe that a lot of the other promotions, like smaller promotions, can exist long longevity-wise with all the other big promotions?
I think so. There's just, the sport is so big. It's still small. Everyone kind of knows everyone, especially like in Southern California. But if there's so many people wanting to do it, it would definitely still exist. There's so many people that want to fight.
So you want to defend your title one time, then what's next for AJ?
We'll see. I mean, I definitely would like to go pro and continue. I've been on a good streak, and I train with great guys that are, Ultimate Fighter, guys that are, UFC, former WC. My coach is former WC coach, so I've been surrounded by really good guys, and that's pretty much what got me started. It's like I can stand and hang with these guys, so I'd really like to just continue and go pro.
Now, what do you usually do? What's your post-fight routine? After you were 3-0, there's only been 2. Today's the third. What do you usually do after each win?
After 6 weeks of being pretty strict, I Korean barbecue, soju, and
Going down to
Koreatown. Yeah.
So that's where you're going tonight?
Yeah, that's where we're going. A bunch of people waiting there.
What place are you going?
The Gogi on 6. Gogi.
Okay. And obviously they take care of you when you're over there.
Yeah.
You have your fill.
Yeah.
Is it the all you can eat?
It's all you can eat. It's regular $19.99. They hook me up for $15.99. They pop bottles for us. Yeah, it's a good deal.
Put back on the weight that you lost, right?
I try to keep my weight down so I can.
I've been to a couple of those places where they give you actual like ribeyes. Is that one of the places tonight?
Yeah. It's a great
Are we
deal.
invited?
Yeah, no, everyone's welcome.
The thing with the ribeyes though is I've had Korean barbecue and the ribeyes I feel like if I eat too much I get like drunk. It's like do you ever get that where it's like in my mind I'm thinking, oh, it's ribeye. I need another one. And then I get, oh, it's a ribeye. I mean, do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I need to just continue eating because it's.
Well, you gotta finish what they bring out.
Yeah.
Because there's like 50 plates, right? And it's just like.
Now I know you have a strict diet during fight, but do you drink as well, a little bit as well?
Not when I'm not ashamed.
No. I mean like tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I gotta celebrate that. So.
And then when do you start back in training? When do you go back?
It depends. Probably 6 to 8 weeks out from the next fight. So right now I don't have a fight plan. So.
Are you gonna? I know December 8th, I believe, was their next fight. Do you think you're gonna be in that next fight?
I don't know. I haven't talked about it yet, but I think he wants to do it.
Yeah, well, Jay will be on the show, and we're gonna talk to him. We'll make sure you get on to showcase your talent. Can you hold it up to show everyone?
Yeah.
You go to bed with this? Are you gonna go to bed with this tonight?
Yeah, I told my wife I'm gonna carry it everywhere, even the grocery store.
And ultimately, that's your goal, right? To get into one of the bigger promotions.
Yeah.
And our last question: do you think that other promotions can coexist with the big dog, with the UFC?
I think the UFC has such a set, hold on the market, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they have the right people in place. But yeah, I mean, look at World Series of Fighting, look at Bellator. They're still doing well. I mean, there might be some little bit of beef here and there, but they're still coexisting. And I think that they'll still continue doing well. And it's a stepping stone for those people, coming up to the smaller leagues to get to the next step.
That's A.J. Lavarias. He is the lightweight champion for the University of MMA. And he'll be celebrating tonight in Koreatown.
Yeah.
You want to get the address there? Everybody to show up?
We might be there too.
Yes, please, guys.
Hey, can we anyone follow you on Twitter, Facebook?
Yes. Twitter, Lavarias, Lavarias. And Instagram, Alexander_Jr. And Facebook, just look up A.J. Lavarias.
That's the champ. We'll be back with Jay Tan, talking Conor McGregor, talking to other promotions and more here on the Hollywood MMA Show.
Hi, I'm Eddie Bravo, and you're watching the Hollywood MMA Show.
Welcome back to the Hollywood MMA Show. I'm David Kano.
And I'm Jason Stizo Flores, and this is your MMA Show News.
And I think there's a reason why I only have 11,000 Twitter followers and you have 25. And here's what I think. Jason Stizo wrote an article on Conor McGregor a few months back, and you were hovering around 15,000. And all of a sudden, we even saw on the website, the whole country of Ireland started following you, and you started getting a lot of views.
I just had a leprechaun. I had a leprechaun. I caught one in my backyard, and
I'm getting the next Irish fighter, but right now we're joined with Jay Tan, the co-owner, co-founder of University of MMA. How you doing?
Very good. Tired. It's been a long day, but it's been good.
So what time did your day start this morning?
I mean, not too inhumane. Probably about 8 o'clock. The call time was 9, but you just go straight until then, and it's about 12 hours later right now. We left at 12, so yeah, it's been a full day, but we're trading for the world.
Now, what keeps you going? I mean, are you on Red Bulls? Are you on coffee throughout the day?
Believe it or not, no. I mean, this is going to sound really corny, but when the fighters get here, it's in charge. And I think between our staff, you know, they're joining weigh-ins, and Camo as well, because they're big supporters of our show, and the fighters and the coaches, all the energy feeds, you know, we kind of feed off of each other. The weigh-ins are fantastic. We had, the weigh-ins went very smoothly. I think we were done with everything from top to bottom in about 90 minutes. And that's including paperwork and stuff. And then the guys, you know, they're excited to get backstage. They're excited to bang right off the bat, you know. We get some good food for them backstage. They feel comfortable, you know. Spirits are high, and we just keep that going throughout the whole day.
Are you gonna end up burning out after you burn out after the event? I mean, when I used to promote, like before the event, I'm all amped up, excited. Right as the event's over and everything's shut, I'm burnt out.
The first couple of times that we ran this venue, yeah, because there's a lot to take in. But I think this is our 5th time now with Club Nokia, and they've been so fantastic in allowing us to grow with them. You know, I'm in charge now. I mean, I could go do a workout. I really want to go get a burger. I'm going to eat a lot. I'm going to drink a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably be up on Twitter and Facebook tonight trying to do my epilogue, you know? No, I'm fully charged. It may be adrenaline, but it feels good.
So what is your post-fight, post-event routine?
I'll get some food. I'll try and hang out with some friends, you know, maybe at the Yard House. We're going live. I'll be there in 15 minutes maybe. If it's on delay, that's where you'll find me every show. That's where the spot is at.
December 8th.
December 8th, exactly.
Remember.
I gotta charge them for sponsorship now. But I will go home and, you know, really continue going until I'm just dead, and that'll be the social media stuff. You know, I want to put the word out there because a lot of people didn't get to make it to the event. We'll get our videos and photos up pretty soon, but people are kind of, you know, hanging on right now, wanting to know what's going on. So once it's fresh in the head, you know, I want to talk about it. It was, it's the same positive energy still going, and you know, might as well ride it till the wheels fall off, right?
You where do you see it going? I mean, right now, it's your third event, Fight Night 3.
Fight Night 3, we did 2 events, so 5th in this venue, I think 8th or 9th overall. We did, our previous venue was in Hollywood, and I think we did 2 or 3 shows there, a couple other shows outside of the LA area, you know, experiments. The big part of like these early years, the building blocks, is finding a great venue partner. That's so crucial, and we've got a fantastic one partner here. Can't say enough about these guys. Mark, Kaylee, and the staff. You know, we had certain parameters that we could do and could not do, and as we've grown with each show, the trust is there. It has grown with each show, so we're allowed to do more. So to answer the question, where do we see it going? We're going to continue growing. You know, we're on a really good run, but we're not there yet. But you know, we get a lot of support from the fighters, the fight teams, the community, and everything, and you need that. But we still got a way to go, and we're going to be back here in Club Nokia with several shows next year. See what happens.
And we talked earlier, it was more filled up tonight. The fights were action-packed. We just had A.J. Lavarias, the new lightweight champion, on. In a battle that went both ways. I thought A.J. was done early on in the 2nd round, because I thought he was really hurt. Did you see that?
I saw that Julian Johnson. He was threatening quite a bit from bottom. I felt that it was 1-1 going into the 3rd. You know, so I mentioned to one of the guys, you know, it's really come down to a one-round match. It was, you know, it was even. I thought it was both guys left it all in there and have nothing to be ashamed of. And that's honestly how I feel about pretty much everybody, top to bottom. I know it's cheesy to say, but everybody, they leave it in the, if they leave it in the cage and they can feel good about what they've done, win, lose, or draw, I know I did my job. Because at this level, we should be getting kids, young fighters, exposure, experience, and a comfortability of going in there and doing this. It's not an easy thing to do. I know I would never do it. But if they come out, I hate to say, they come out feeling good, they're all winners. There's the ultimate cliche, but that's really what I'm going for.
You got some great fighters. Actually,
Shohei Yamamoto.
This guy is a beast. I mean, when I was back in the room, he was hitting the pads. I came out and saw. I was like, wait till this dude gets in the game.
There's a lot of great storyline behind Shohei, some of which is for him to tell. Today was his birthday, and
his father passed as well 3 weeks ago.
You know, it was. I think it was a big thing. It was the first time I'd ever met Shohei, but I think it was a big thing for him to be able to do something to honor his father like this. He had some fantastic posts on Facebook that told a little bit of that story. And yeah, all of it coming together. There was a point about a week or 10 days ago when I didn't have an opponent. His opponent fell out. Or actually there was a decline as well. And so I'm scrambling to keep this kid on. And sure enough, Michael Woods, total props and respect to him. I had talked with him months ago about getting on the card, and we lost communication, and I figured it would just fall off, fall into the cracks. A day or two after Shohei's opponent fell out, Michael hits me up and says, "Hey, so what's going on? I still got my match or no?" I was like, "Nah, dude, you haven't talked in a minute. But, by the way, I happen to have this thing here." So, there's that as well.
But why do you think that some of his opponents have dropped out? We talked to Shohei earlier, and he said there was a video posting where he heel kicked someone and knocked them out.
There is some wicked karate. Shohei Yamamoto, the Kyokushin karate guy from, let's say, mid-2000s to now. You can find those videos on YouTube. Yeah, he's nasty with the hands and feet.
Do you think that's the reason why some of his opponents declined?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, it certainly could be a factor. There were some other issues as well, but point being that Shohei got the kind of not quite Cinderella man, but he got the storybook ending that you want for a guy like that.
And his coach, Josh Barnett, I mean, one of the best wrestling MMA fighters ever.
Yeah, Josh has got a match coming up in less than a week now.
Saturday.
Yep, Saturday on pay-per-view. Josh was pushing Shohei on me, and I've been wanting to get Josh's guys on our show for a long time. So this is a big thing. Finally, we get, Josh has got somebody to put on our show. Boom, let's get it done. And it was kind of touch and go, but thankfully we got it together. Michael was a fantastic sport. He was very excited about facing Shohei because he liked that karate versus karate guy. Michael has a long history of karate as well. Trains under his father. He's a second-generation karate guy. And it was the first time I'd gotten to work with him. And man, that was a great. These guys that come from a little bit farther outside of LA, because we're here, you don't necessarily connect with them as well. You don't know them as well. But Michael was fantastic to work with, and that, again, everybody came out. I feel proud of all the fighters that were in there. Shohei looked fantastic. There were a lot of great knockouts, a couple nasty submissions.
That was the first fight of the night, 9-second knockout, right?
That's right, yeah. Ramon Mendoza, again, another last-minute guy. Props to him. Ramon Mendoza. I was referred to him from a non-fight fan, a friend of mine who's not in the fight world. She has a friend who has an uncle that is interested in fighting. Again, from way out, outside of LA, I'm like, nah, we'll see. But Ramon and I start talking. Apparently, I interrupted him in his family vacation. Him and his folks were up in Big Bear. I don't know if it's what they do for vacation or he started training, but as soon as he got the call, he was saying, I was out there with my brother chopping wood and stuff like that. So that was his training. He came off the mountain, got all of his licensing done like that, and it was incredibly communicative. I know it's, for the fans, this isn't really such a big deal, whatever, paperwork, medicals, but this is the kind of thing we want to build ambassadors of the sport, young professionals, and guys like Mike guys like Ramon, you know, and a bunch of others on the bill. This is what it's about. They took care of business, not just in the cage, but beforehand. They were communicative with the promoter. They handled the business that had to get done so that they could get in there. Didn't back down. You know, these were tough challenges, but I wasn't throwing them under the bus or sandbagging them either. So they were willing to step up. And you know, I said on Facebook, there's a nobility and a bravery and integrity that nobody can take away from you. You take a last-minute fight, you know, and you do it all in the cage. So.
Real quick, December 8th. Is A.J. Lavarias going to be defending his title on their card?
It's a good question. I don't know. We've got a couple other title matches we want to do. But A.J., you know, we'll see how he is coming out of this. I'm sure he wants to take a rest. I'm sure that eye will get cleaned up, you know, much sooner than we think. We'll see. Hard to tell.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Man.
Again, December 8th, University of MMA. That'll be their finale for this year. We'll talk about 2014 in December. I'm David Kano. You can follow me at the DKANO. Follow the show at MMA Show News.
And I'm Jason Stizo Flores. I'm an artist tonight. And this is your MMA Show.
This is your boy Sugar Shot Evans.
This is Calvin Gastelum.
This is Anthony Rumble Johnson. I'm Leo Machida, and you're watching the Hollywood MMA Show.
You're watching the Hollywood MMA Show.
Watching the Hollywood MMA Show.
And yeah, you can take the bad look off your face because nobody want to hear him to talk about his son. It's not the movie with Mel Gibson. My son. Yeah, we'll talk about my son the whole time. And talk about music on the clouds. Your mind is on the clouds. Nobody want to hear that stuff sound like Linkin Park. Cobb Swans. Cobb Swans is my... Cobb Swans is my favorite guy.